Hi there. Welcome to my True North Vintage Collector channel. Kind of a cloudy, sunny-ish, cold day up here. Thought I'd hop outside and maybe talk cards with you for a couple of minutes. So the purpose of this video is to kind of show you a path that I've taken since last summer. Last summer I decided to buy this card right here. It was the W516-2-1 Thai Cobb. Now the piece that kind of gave me a little pause with this card right here was the fact that it was a fairly major purchase. It's playing days Cobb, but it's a horizontal card, and we all know that there are a lot of collectors in our orbit that aren't horizontal card fans. You know, they're hard to put into binders. They're hard to when you look at a card like this, you can clearly see card goes this way, the flip is this way. Sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. I get it. I'm looking more at the action shot. That was the big deal for me, making sure that, yeah, with the 1956 tops and the 1960 tops, beautiful, beautiful horizontal cards that I want to invest in someday once I go down that path of the golden age if I decide to. But I want action shots. I want something where the entire card is taken up by a shot of the player in some way, shape, or form, and where the name is just off to the side. And so when I purchased that, I decided to give it some breathing space. And when I did, I realized how much I was really enjoying it. So I started to make up a list. What are those pre-war horizontal cards that I know I can really dive into, especially with the fact that outside of that Cobb, the biggest one is the Grail, the one that I want the most, the one that all my friends in the collecting hobby know that I'm after. And I've been offered a couple of them in the past little while. It's the caramel issue from 1909 of Christy Mathewson, that beautiful card where he's following through with the gorgeous background. The problem is those cards right now, I do want to find the right one. They're expensive, yes, but they're not stratosphere expensive like the Gaudy Ruths or even the redback portrait of the T206 Thai Cobb. And so I've decided to put that one off aside, and then a friend of mine, E107 collector, you can look him up on IG, amazing guy, insane collection. Go look for his Maddie from that set, it's unbelievable. Anyways, he told me that he saw an ad, or at least a posting on Net54, where somebody had a couple of horizontal cards from the 1909 sets. And so he did the deal. There were a couple of other cards involved, and he said, buddy, this is the one. You can come and get the Seigle from that set. Now the Johnny Seigle card, it's interesting, the Maddie, that's one where he's a pitcher, I get that. But Johnny Seigle's an outfielder, and the pose that he has is eerily similar. So this is a really interesting card. So this is from the E92 Dockman Sons gum, and isn't it a stunner? The funny thing about this card is this guy is the furthest thing away from a superstar. So he played in 2 seasons from 1905 and 1906, roughly 30 at-bats, used in the outfield quite a bit. The first season, he ended up actually hitting over 300. He came up as a 31-year-old and was a bit of a prospect, and then he hurt his ankle at the end of that season. After that, he hit under 200 the second season, and he played the rest of his career in the minors. So I did a little backwards research just to kind of find out where these things came from. And I found out that these cards right here, they usually took about 3 years to make. And so he was playing 3 years before these cards came out. They had the superstars, the people that made the lithographs probably updated those pictures, but they needed some fillers. And you can see with the sunset in behind, this is an absolutely gorgeous card. And so I'm sure they decided to throw it in. So in that same deal, my friend, E107 collector, he decided that he was going to throw in a couple other cards to kind of make it something for himself and maybe make a couple deals on the side, all of that. And one of the cards was actually the Germany Schaefer card. Now, Germany Schaefer, for most of you know, is from most of you will know him from the Lawrence Ritter book, The Glory of Their Times. He's not featured in a chapter, but he definitely permeates throughout the book. He's got 2 or 3 pages in underneath the 50-page mark or whatever, and maybe a picture or two. And he was known as the classic jokester. Really good MLB player, played a long time, and his most famous claim to fame, in fact, it's in the Ken Burns documentary Baseball, is when he was on second base and he decided that he wanted to play a joke and steal first and went backwards. From that point on, they made a rule, the Germany Schaefer rule, that you can't steal first base from second. So this is the card. It's an absolute stunner as well. From the 1909 E92 Dockman Sons. Take a look at that sunset in the background. Those yellows and golds, unbelievable. I'm gonna spin this around. Here's the back. Fabulous card. So here we go. Horizontal cards are definitely my thing. They're something that I know I'm into and I just can't stop looking at them. These cards right here from the 1909s are absolutely gorgeous and I really locked in. And I'm gonna segue a little bit right now because our hobby's in a little bit of a firestorm with all this shilling business that's been going on. And I wanted to kind of say my 2 cents. I've only been in the hobby for about a year and a half now, not even. And as far as I can remember, shilling has always been a part of it. What we call the bad actors, they've always been a part of it. And I see a lot of you out there, YouTubers and some of the other guys that I've seen in their posts, and you're getting really upset about it, and rightfully so. I mean, these people, you're not sure about the comps, they're driving up the prices, I get that. But I'm a glass half full guy, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of how I kind of angle towards that. So take a $100 card, okay? So you have a $100 card, that thing is sitting at about 30 or 40 bucks in an auction. That's a bit low. And I know we always want a deal. This thing about this hobby, it's amazing how many people I know that will pass up cards because they want a deal. Even though the card is going for $80, $90, $100, they want it for $60 or they want it for $70. And so my advice to you is the way I handle it. I always actually take 2 avenues in which I can kind of look at the purchase of a card. Number one, am I looking at it as an investment? Is it something that I definitely want to get as low as possible? Usually cards like that, they tend to be around, or they tend to transact a little bit more. There's always going to be another one that's coming. So set your price. If it's 70 bucks you want to get it for, and you want it on the low end of a 70 to 100 scale in terms of comps, I'm sure there's 5 or 10 or 15 of them that are going to come up in the next month. Just set your price and let it go. There'll always be another one. But the piece that I would like to say is this. I get that there are shillers out there. There are people that are pumping up the prices artificially. I understand that. I've been burned a couple times. I've made a couple of tweaks, certain services on eBay that I won't buy cards from again, where I can clearly see that those people with 10, 20, 30 eBay purchases are popping in there and they make a bid and they make a bid and they make a bid. And then you pop over to another card that's similar and you see the same thing and you wonder, oh, did the same person consign it? And so we have to look at it like it exists. How can we live with it? I know there are places and rules that eBay and all the auction companies can put in. One of the things that we can do is set our price and walk away. So this is there's a $100 card out there and you decide that you have to pay 120, 130. Put your price out there, shoot your shot, and then if somebody bids it up, you put the bid in and you have to be okay with that. Try to work around these shillers. Like it's the way it is. It's kind of, you know, we can stomp our feet all we want, we can get mad all we want, but at the end of the day, it really is out of our hands. These companies, they're going to be making their money and they're going to do what's best for them. So let's go back. Number one, if you decide on a $100 card that you're going to pay 70 and no more and you want to get a deal on it, great. Throw in 100 bids on, I don't know, 67, 68 mantles and go crazy. That's great. Or, you know what? If that 1954 Red Heart mantle comes up and it's the one that you want and it's pay for it. You'll regret it if it goes. Okay? That's my 2 cents. If you want, just leave some comments below. I'll take a look at them for sure. Remember to try to keep it clean. Those are just my thoughts. This is a hobby. It's meant to be fun. And I want you to always kind of keep that in mind. So, thanks for tuning in. Take care. And I'll see you down the road.